Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Trek, where I'll be talking about and reviewing an episode of the original series, The Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, or Enterprise. Today, I'm going to be looking at We'll Always Have Paris, from The Next Generation's first season. Or as I like to call it that time, I just don't know. This episode was requested by Ad Hominid and Seth Mackey. Thank you both for the suggestion, and let's get going. We begin the episode with the crew on their way to take some shore leave, and Picard fencing this rando, which fences on for some time, even longer when time starts looping. The bridge experienced it too, so Picard heads there, where Data says it happened ship-wide, and then a distress call comes in from Paul Mannheim, some wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey scientist, and into the credits we go. Data exposition dumps about the guy, and Picard goes off to get dressed, but Troy stops him, saying he needs to discuss his feelings. But get lost, Troy. He's got a sword to polish. Now fully clothed, Picard goes to the holodeck, wanting a recreation of what happened at a Parisian cafe over 2 decades ago. And I'd hate to think what kind of spy shit Starfleet has watching Earth if that's possible to do. Did they shove a tunnel under the Eiffel Tower? And now it's over there. Picard tells this poor guy, just trying to do his job, about the lady he stood up at this cafe. And he stares at the lady who is wearing very little of Nana's curtains, and explains, for a friend, why he stood her up. But enough of that. Time to go. He gets to the bridge to a report that other places experienced a brief time loop, and a redirect from the original coordinates Paul gave them send them heading there instead. And they contact a lady who says there's only 2 of them left. Picard instructs the lady to shut down the force field, preventing them from transporting, and he heads to sickbay with Data and Riker, where their patients beam in. Picard arrives, and this lady recognizes him, but let's gloss over that for now, and instead they ask about what happened to the rest of the crew, and about Paul's work. And Janice is sorry to hear that their research is causing time to go all blippy for everyone. They science mumble on for quite some time, but the important part is Paul became paranoid and protective of Janice the more his experiments went on, and she doesn't want Picard sending a team down to investigate. Beverly is jealous but says her patient is dying, and in the turbo lift we discover the time blips are spreading, and apparently getting worse it would seem. They go to Picard's ready room and science mumbo-jumbo some more, basically saying Paul has been harnessing energy and they really do need to go down to the lab and get the full picture. So Picard agrees to an away mission that struggled to beam down there, and they only manage to get Data and Riker back before finally being able to rematerialize Worf. Paul wakes up but doesn't remember sending a distress call before babbling about the future, things being worth it, and saying things are changing as he's partially trapped in another dimension. As Data is an android, Paul tells him what the hell is going on, and then says they need to stop the anomaly and will help them bypass the transporter problem. But also, this expression. They yada yada some more, but basically they need to fix the space hole before time screws up entirely. And then Janice comes to ask why Picard didn't show up that day in Paris, and he says he was afraid, while she admits she waited a long time for him. Beverly doctors about and strokes this guy before getting a visit from Troy, who wants to nose into her personal business, and her jealousy over Janice.
I can't compete with a ghost from his past.
What about a ghost from your past? Paul wakes up and wants to talk to Picard alone about his wife, who he wants taken care of if anything happens to him. Picard tells Data that he'll be an away team of 1 because it's too dangerous to send anyone else. So he beams down and makes it this time, except the security system tries to vaporize him. And inside the lab, there's a wibbly thing, so he science positions a complicated plan. He shoves a doodad in the space hole, which creates 3 of him, but only 1 is at the right point in time to fix the problem. But they work it out instantly and patch the space hole. With the mission a success, Paul is all better now and reunites with Janice, who isn't a fan of going back to the lab, but doesn't seem like she has a choice. However, before that, Troy dumps her on the holodeck so she can have the date she missed out on with the captain. Okay, bye then. Wait, what? I don't think I got any of that. Hang on, let me go back and watch this one again. Yeah, no, I'm still none the wiser. I'm afraid this episode and its collection of scenes of people talking science nonsense to each other has completely gone over my head. I mean, I know what happened. Time looped aboard the ship due to Paul's experiments ripping open a space hole, and Data had to close it, all while Picard battled feelings for the woman he was too afraid to date. But that's it. That's the whole episode, and something feels like it's missing. I'm not usually a fan of the talky episodes, except for if they have a big moment or point at the end. Prime example is is Deep Space Nine's duet. So I was waiting for some big moment, some story revelation that never came. So I'm afraid I just don't get it. The most exciting part was the three daters trying to work out which one was the real one, but that was resolved in a matter of seconds, so I'm left feeling rather empty. I'm not knocking anyone's choices, but I am curious why two people asked for this one. It's not a ridiculously bad episode to make fun of like Masks, and it's not a big popular episode either like In the Pale Moonlight. So I would genuinely love to hear why you chose this episode in particular, and what exactly I'm missing, and I of course want to hear everyone else's opinions on this one as well. It has a 6.6 rating on IMDb, but it's not bad, it's just a little empty. I've never really had nothing to say about an episode before, but here we are, so better put a quote from the episode on the screen and reiterate, I need your thoughts and opinions on this one. Well, this is slightly awkward. Live long and prosper.